Hi, Bold Thinkers. It's Kanisha from boldlivingtoday.com. If you are visiting us for the first time, welcome. And if you are returning Bold Thinker, welcome back. So glad to have you here. So today I wanted to talk to you about healthcare or human services providers that you know and love, and specifically if you yourself are a human service provider. I'm thinking about going into the next academic year, whether you are a professor, a teacher, a support staff in a organization that supports students in the K-12 or post-secondary um, capacity, or if you are in the healthcare field or any type of human service provider. I am thinking about you and I want to talk directly to you and to the people who support you. So I was having a really fun conversation with a friend who we used to teach together when I lived in Illinois. And she is now working as a support team person within a school district. And she was saying how orientation's getting ready to start back, in services for the educators are getting ready to commence, and everybody is already feeling burned out. The school year hasn't even started yet, and people are already feeling fatigued. They're feeling like they didn't have enough time during the summer to rest. Maybe it's because they were finishing graduate work, or they were catching up on projects they had been putting off because they were so exhausted and so stretched and so focused on their students during the academic year that the whole summer was spent getting all that done in anticipation of a new school year. Or maybe they just don't know how to rest and they've just been so busy spinning their wheels that they haven't had a chance to refuel as they go into the next academic year. So what I wanted to talk about is, if you are serving as a human service provider or you're supporting someone who's a human service provider, it's super important to set up a structure for how you are going to rest. And we all know that word rest, take time off, relax, get some R&R, maybe have a spa day and all of that. And when we say rest, it's such an open-ended term that a lot of times people say, I don't have time to rest. I just have to get these things done. I want to tackle my to-do list. I have been putting off XYZ for so long. I'm tired of having it there looming over me and having me feel stressed out because I can't get it all done. I can't manage everything like my other friends, like my partner, my spouse, my husband, wife, like my sister, whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of initial rejection to thinking about resting, because human service providers are typically super dedicated to what they do. They know that it's not a one size fits all for the people they're serving. So they really want to be present. They want to be open. They want to be knowledgeable. They want to be skilled at supporting the people that they are in service to. But as a human service provider, when do you really rest? When do you really take time out to get back into a nice, comfortable mind space so that you are ready to take on whatever happens and whatever comes at you? So in talking to my friend, I was telling her it's super important to do, I think, a creative activity around what it means to rest, because a lot of times we might write something down in a notebook and then the notebook goes to the desk, it goes on the shelf, and we don't look at it. So I think it's super important to have some type of visual representation about what it means to rest. And so I was giving her some ideas, and this is something that we sort of talked about, and I gave her the initial seeds to turn it into whatever she thought it could be. So I want to share those seeds with you so that you can grow your rest into something even bigger. So we're using the word rest, and that's our term, that's our theme for this. And each letter of rest, R-E-S-T, stands for something. And so I'm going to give you what they stand for, and then I'll talk about the visualization part. So for R in rest, the activity around that is to, as the human service provider, is to reflect on your why, to reflect on your purpose. So why are you in this particular business, this particular position, this particular organization as a human service provider? So you want to reflect on your why and your purpose. And it might be a reminder because you have forgotten, because you've gotten so busy, inundated, overtaxed, overwhelmed with what you have to do as a human service provider. So the R is reflect on your why, reflect on your purpose. The E is to examine your mindset around your why and purpose. So you'll have you'll reflect on your why and purpose, and then you'll examine your mindset around that. So if you say, I'm a classroom teacher because I love serving this particular community, and I think that my skills fit this community. That's your why, that's your purpose. But then if you examine your mindset around that, and looking at that, I understand that being here does XYZ. If your mindset doesn't really jump out to you as something that's open, as something that's creative, as something that's thriving, you might have to re-examine that. And that's not a negative thing, because a lot of times we, as adults specifically, we just get really into what we're doing and we don't go back and really examine the why, the purpose, and align it to our mindset. So you want to take some time to do that. The S is schedule some refuel time. So you thought about your why, you've thought about your purpose, you've examined your mindset, and now you need some time to refuel. And for me specifically, when I talk about having time to refuel, that means I need time to hang out with my friends, just to be doing silly and fun things, not related to the services I'm providing. And I also need to be engaging in some creative activity, making stuff, getting my hands a little dirty, maybe learning a different art or crafting technique. So those are the things I need to refuel. I probably need a little bit more sleep, but that's not what comes top of mind when I want to refuel. I just love the instant boost of energy I get when I'm with my friends and when I'm creating. And so I like to use that and harness that into some of the work that might not be as easy for me, and I might need an extra boost, extra pat on the back, or some support. And then the T stands for talk with a trusted supporter. And that's open-ended about who your supporter is. It could be your husband, wife, your partner. It could be your best friend. It could be a coach that you have. It could be somebody in your organization who serves as your mentor, or somebody outside of your organization who serves as a mentor. It could be a spiritual leader. But whoever that trusted supporter is, take some time to talk with them. Just be open, lay it bare, and just say, hey, I am going through the R.E.S.T protocol, and the last task was to talk to somebody about it. Because a lot of times when we're having the conversation and we have a soft place to land, and we have someone who's listening to us, who's there for us without an agenda, it's easy for us to just lay the burdens down, to get that off of us, so that we can have the space to really refuel, to really look at our mindsets, and to really reflect on our purpose and our why. So that's the those are the things for R.E.S.T, and I'll have it listed in the video notes so you can take notes on that. And then the thing with the visualization, I'm just huge on visuals and huge on giving people the opportunity to create something around a tool that they're going to use. And then talking to my friend about it, I said she could give people a piece of paper, something super simple, or she could give them note cards, or, if they had some initiative going on, particularly for the academic year at her school, it could be linked to that theme. But people should have some visualization about what they're agreeing to with the R.E.S.T protocol, different things that they might want to see when they think about refueling, when they think about examining mindset, when they think about talking to their trusted person. They might want to have some type of musical lyrics or inspirational quotes that go for each letter. They might want to have something from the summer, from their summer vacations, that might link to each letter, so that if they're feeling overwhelmed, they need to take just a 5-minute break between classes, or they're taking a break during their prep period or during their lunch, they could look at this visualization on the note cards, on a piece of paper, on the computer if they do it digitally. I prefer to do things with your hands, but we won't leave digital out. But creating a visual that speaks to what they're agreeing to when they say they're going to reflect on their why and their purpose, when they're going to examine their mindset, when they're going to schedule refuel time, and then when they're going to talk to a trusted supporter, so that you have the actual written communication linked to something visual, so that you can really use that as a support tool in those moments when you just don't have an hour to take a break, or you just can't run away, or it's the start of a big unit, a big quarter, a big session, and you're not ready to take some time off because it's a super, super important go time. So yeah, I really understand how burnout is so huge for human service providers, and how we can get calloused in our work, but it's super important to have these strategies and these tools, so that self-rejection doesn't get in the way, and neglecting our needs doesn't get in the way, and that we can refuel constantly so we can be a strong and nurturing support for the people and organizations and communities that we serve. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me and connect with me at boldlivingtoday.com. That's the Bold Living Today website for the Bold Living Today community. And you can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at Kenesha Baynard, and then also on Facebook, Kenesha Baynard Coaching.